Hello everyone, this is John Finari from the Sociology Department at Queens College. The purpose of this video is to demonstrate how to create presentations using Google Slides. Google Slides is free web-based software used to create presentations. To access Google Slides, you're going to first log into your Google Drive account, and from your Google Drive account, select the red button on the left side of the screen that says New, and scroll down to the bottom and you're going to choose that last option that says Google Slides. This will open a new tab in your browser and you'll have a blank Google Slide presentation. It starts off with your title slide. There's a couple things I want to point out here. We've got a title slide right here in the middle of the screen. We have a menu of themes to select from on the right side, and then just like with Google Sheets and Google Docs, on the upper left hand side we have the title, and right now we have an untitled presentation. So the first thing I want to do is give this presentation a title. And then the next thing I want to do is go over here to this themes menu and select a theme. Now these themes are pre-designed slides that look a little prettier than this blank slide that we have here. I'm going to select this third one down on the right. It's a blue slide set. Once you select your theme, you can close this menu. If you decide that you want to change themes, you can bring that menu back by going over here to the toolbar and selecting themes, and you'll get that menu back. But I like to close it once I have my theme selected so that I have a little more room on the screen. Now you may decide that you don't like this color or you want to change the color, so we can fix that. I'm going to right click on the slide, and where it says change background, we're just going to click there, and it gives me the option to change the color. I'm going to go with a light purple color. Now if I select Done, that'll change the color of just this slide. If I select Add to Theme before I hit Done, it will change the color of all the slides. So now when I create new slides, they'll all have the same color. So the first thing I want to do is I want to add some content to this title slide. So this slide has two text boxes already there for me to fill out. The first one says click here to add title, so I'm just going to say, I'm just going to write title. And the second text box says click here to add subtitle. I'll put my name there. Actually, I'll change this title to presentation. Now I can do some things with these text boxes, such as change the font. So if I highlight the word presentation, I can go over here and change the font size, make this a little bigger font. I can also change the color of the font. I'll do the same thing with the subtitle. You may have to readjust the size of these text boxes. The other thing you can do is you can center the information in these text boxes. You can also click on the text box and move it up or down. If you want to get funky, you can select this little circle here and turn the text boxes. I'm not sure if we like that. There's a lot of different things you can do here. Alright, once I have my title slide, then I can add another slide. And the way we add a slide, the easiest way is right here, this little plus button that says New Slide. When I select the plus button and I choose New Slide, it's going to automatically create a slide that uses the title and body layout. So it's going to give me two text boxes, one over here on the top with the color background that I can put a title or a slide title on, and then a second text box without the color background where I can write some content. This is a useful slide layout, but you may decide that you don't want to have those text boxes, or you want to have a different layout. If you want to have a little more control, instead of pressing the plus button, you press the drop down menu, and it gives you some options here for different slide layouts. So you can go with a slide that has a title only, or one that has just a caption on the bottom, or maybe a blank slide. I kind of like the blank slides because then I can insert my own text boxes. I can insert them wherever I want, or however many I want. I'm going to go back to the second slide that we created here, the slide that uses the title and body slide layout, and just add some content here. So we'll give this title we'll come up with a slide title, and maybe it's our research topic. And then in this text box we can add some bullets about the research topic, so we can say relevance to social sciences, definition, or fact, and maybe some key statistics. And again, if I wanted to, I can move this over. I can mess with the font color, font size. Ooh, that looks big. The alignment. I can even highlight the background if I wanted. So I've got some control here of what I can do with the text in these text boxes. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to go to is this blank slide layout that I've inserted. And in this first blank slide, I want to insert some text boxes. So I decide I want to type in here. I go over here to insert. I select text box. And my cursor turns into this plus sign. And then I just click wherever I want that text box to be. And once I like where it is, I let go. If I decide, oh no, I wish I made it bigger, that's okay. I can make it bigger, or I can make it smaller. Once I've got it, I just double click in there and I can type my title here. And again, I can mess around with the font size. Let's make this a little bigger. We're going to make that red and center it. We can also center it up and down inside the text box as well. And then I'm going to insert a second text box below that title, a big one that I can type some content in. Alright, so that's one option for creating a title and some content on a blank slide layout. I'm going to insert another slide now using that same blank slide layout, but instead of inserting a text box for the title, I'm going to insert word art. So same process, we go to insert, select word art. Now it doesn't open up a text box, it actually asks me what word I want to have there. So I'm just going to put the word title. Actually, we'll say slide title. And then once I like what I've got there, I hit enter. And it creates this word art. Now, I can move this box around and I can reshape it or resize it, but you'll notice when I resize or reshape it, it changes the look of the text there. It doesn't give me the ability to change the text size. The text size just automatically changes as I mess around with this word art box. I can squish the text down really kind of flat, or I can stretch it out. I can squish it this way. But once I like the way it looks, there's a couple other things I can do. Once I click on it, now remember this isn't a text box, so I'm not editing text, but I can edit this object. So in this toolbar menu here, you see this fill color. I can select a fill color. I'm going to select yellow, and it changes the words to yellow. It's really kind of bright. Maybe I want to tone it down by giving those letters an outline. So I also have this option in the toolbar that says line color. I'm going to select a red line color. And you can't really see it because it's a really thin border, but there's a little red line around this yellow. I can widen or thicken that red line by going to this option here that says line weight. I'm going to go from 1 time to 3 times. And that's much better. Now you see that yellow font with the red border around it. That looks a lot better than something like this. And I can still resize this and move it around. Once we have this slide title the way we want it, we can add some content by inserting a text box. So again, it's go to the Insert menu and select Text Box, and then insert the text box here and add the content. Or if we like a text box that we've already created on a previous slide, such as this one, we can copy and paste this text box from this slide to here. And then we have the text box from the previous slide that we can just edit however we want. Alright, the next thing I want to show you is we're going to insert another blank slide. And we could copy and paste some tables and or graphs from previous projects that we're working on. So I'm going to go back to my Google Drive, and if you remember from a previous lesson, we created some tables and graphs in Google Sheets. So I open up a Google Sheets file that has this table. So we're going to highlight the table, copy it, go back to my presentation, and paste it. And now I've got my table, and then I can also go back to the Google Sheets file and copy that graph and paste it here. Now notice when you paste it, it pasted it over the table, but don't worry, that table's still back there. You just have to move this over. And you can resize them if you need to. You can move them around, you can do a bunch of stuff here. Alright, next thing we're going to do is add another blank slide. And this time we're going to insert an image. And the way we do that is we go over here to Insert, and we select Image. And if there was a picture or an image on your computer, you could upload it directly from your computer. You can take a picture and then add that picture directly into the slide, or you can just search Google for an image. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to select the search option, and let's see, what should we search? Let's search puppies because everybody loves puppies. Alright, and there's a cute little guy that we're going to take, so we're just going to double click on this picture. And now the puppy is part of our slide. Now we can resize this, move it around if we wanted to. But this image, if you notice this image, I selected it because the puppy is not really in the center of the picture. We've got a lot of blank space here, so we can crop this picture over here, this little crop image button. Select that, and then it puts a black border around this, and then we can adjust the size of the picture by adjusting that border. And then once we like what we have, we hit the enter button, and now we've cropped the picture so that we just have this cute little puppy, and we can resize that image, move that image around, whatever we want to do. We can also insert videos from YouTube. Same process, you just select insert and then video, and then you can search for a video and embed that video right into the slide. I'm not going to show you that, but it's the same process. In the insert pull-down menu, you also have the ability to add lines and shapes. You can create your own table if you didn't want to create a table in Google Sheets or somewhere else. There are a lot of options for modifying your presentation, inserting different objects into the presentation, changing the size, the shape, the color of things, moving things around, making them look however you want them to look. There's some other options if you wanted to add some transition animation. That would be done through this menu where it says right here on the top, you select transition, and then you can do things like make these slides fade in and fade out, or make the content on the slides appear and disappear. There's really a lot of options here. It's not quite as robust as Microsoft PowerPoint, but it is free software, it is easy to use, and it's very simple, and in some ways simple is better. One of the problems that I've seen in some presentations created with PowerPoint is that because PowerPoint has so many fancy bells and whistles, people get really overwhelmed with all the things that they can do, and sometimes they try to do too much. This has a pretty good variety of options that you can use to make your presentation look good without overwhelming you, the person creating the presentation, or your audience viewing your presentation. Speaking of viewing the presentation, very important thing that I want to show you here is how do you actually present. So you go back to the first slide, and over here in the upper right hand corner you select present, and then it's going to change the presentation to a full screen mode, and then you can use the arrow buttons on your keyboard or your mouse to toggle through the slides. And again, if you add animation, you can make these slides appear or disappear. You can make the content on the slides appear or disappear, or fade in or fade out. The way you get out of this presentation mode is you hit the escape button on your keyboard. Another nice feature here is you don't have to worry about carrying your presentation on a disk or a thumb drive or emailing it to somebody. It's always going to be accessible through the internet. You can access it through your cell phone or your tablet, plug that into some type of projector, as long as there's internet access and the ability to get to your web browser. If for some reason you don't have internet access or the ability to get to your web browser and you wish you had an actual copy of the presentation, well, there is an option for that as well. And that option is to go here to the File menu, and you have the ability to download as either a Microsoft PowerPoint presentation, so it will actually download this into a PowerPoint format, or you can also download this into a PDF. So I encourage everybody to play around with Google Slides and create a presentation and see what you can do with it. Thanks, everyone.